This is Andrew with WRO's Fair Housing Group. We're talking today about source of income as a protected class under New York State's fair housing law. Please bear in mind throughout the presentation that we're not providing legal advice. We're going to talk a lot about the law and what we think it could or should mean, but these are just my opinions. If you need legal advice, please speak to your own lawyer. The New York State Lawful Source of Income Non-Discrimination Act, passed in April of 2019, made it illegal to discriminate in housing on the basis of lawful source of income. So what is a lawful source of income? Well, it's defined very broadly to include not just income from employment, but really any and all forms of lawful income. That includes child support, alimony, foster care subsidies, Social Security income, any form of federal, state, or local public assistance or housing assistance, including, for example, Section 8 vouchers, which you may have heard about. And what's not a lawful source of income is income from criminal activity. So proceeds of a bank robbery, prostitution, and drug dealing, really any illegal activities. Without going into too much detail on what conduct constitutes housing discrimination, all the same conduct that's prohibited under the state's fair housing law with respect to any other protected class like race or religion or sexual orientation, for example, will be illegal with respect to lawful source of income. Let's get into a couple tougher questions. A caveat that these are not all settled matters under the law, so I'm giving you my opinion on what the law means or should mean, but others may disagree. So can a landlord ask about source of income? Yes. Housing providers may ask about sources and amounts of income that will be used to pay the rent, and may ask for documentation evidencing that. The only caveat I'd note is that they must be consistent about what they ask for from applicants. So can you ask about a minimum credit score? So generally, yes. Again, as long as you apply that rule consistently to all applicants. But consider why you're asking, whether it really makes sense. Whose credit are you really relying on? You need to ask yourself whether a policy has a discriminatory impact, and if so, you should assume you have a problem. In situations where the voucher is paying all or almost all of the rent, which can be the case under some programs, I would argue a landlord doesn't have a valid reason to care about the tenant's credit score because the tenant isn't paying the rent. Okay, so can a landlord refuse to participate in a subsidy program because of inspections or administrative burdens, things like that? No. Landlord can't say, I don't like the Section 8 program requirements, so I'm not going to accept the voucher. That would defeat the purpose of the law. We understand that programs like Section 8 introduce additional requirements on landlords and may entail delays in approving a tenancy. But if you're a landlord encountering significant problems because of a poorly functioning Section 8 office, you need to help fix that program, not take it out on voucher holding tenants. That's illegal. Okay, can a landlord only rent to tenants with a job and working income? No. All lawful sources of income are equally valid. Okay, can a landlord apply income requirements like multiples of rent to voucher holders? Well, generally, no. If you require all your tenants to have income of 3 times the rent, that test doesn't make sense for voucher holders. Voucher holders don't have that sort of income. If they did, they wouldn't qualify for the voucher. If the voucher is enough to cover the rent and utilities, the government has determined that they can afford the apartment. And that should really be the end of the discussion. Okay, so there's a number of tricky questions here. We did the best we could to answer them for you all. But again, these are just our best guesses. Please talk to your own lawyer if you have questions. Well, thank you for watching our video. WRO is a full-service housing agency providing education and outreach on fair housing as well as investigations and enforcement of the fair housing laws. If you are aware of housing discrimination, please reach out to us to report it. The easiest way is to reach us by email. You can see the staff directory on the screen now. Reach out to anyone in the Fair Housing Group. This video is produced with grant funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and Enterprise Community Partners. Thank you.
Like, subscribe, and share this video, and please follow us on social.